Today I got to play a couple holes with my first swing coach, a former New Mexico State women's golf coach, and Sun Country legend, Paul Brilliant. How do we get the history of, I mean, you know it, but I think like the only thing that I found was like founded in like 1974.
Yes.
Is that right? Yep. 74?
That's when it was all in from 72, 73. It took us a while.
Yeah. So yeah, like one of the things that I was like, I have no idea, and I feel like I should know. Like
yeah, there's not much left. Well, it depends on who you talk to, because Eschenberger thinks he did it.
Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, like I would say.
So without telling my, so what happened is, Herb and I we were the New Mexico chapter of the Southwest section.
So Arizona. Basically.
Arizona was a chapter. New Mexico was a chapter. We were the Southwest section.
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem is their on season was the winter. Their off season was the summer. Our on season was the summer. Our off season was winter. We could hardly ever. We met alternate years.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's all right. I'm just leaning. I don't know what to say. I'm just leaning. Yeah.
So you're off season.
So I'm an assistant. Herb's a head professional. I'm an assistant professional. So he's the president, and I'm the secretary treasurer, and there's like 2 board members, and that's it.
Okay.
There's only I can't remember the number. Less than 25 PGA members.
Okay.
Okay. But at that time, as an assistant, you couldn't vote.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, you were a PGA member, but you couldn't vote.
Okay.
So when all this came to fruition, we were going to be a section because Hawaii had like 15 members, but they were part of this Southern California section.
Okay.
They wanted to be their own section. That's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I knew that was going to happen. I was pushing to get to vote. I mean, I'd done everything. I'd gone to business schools and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was a member, but I couldn't vote. I had no status.
Yeah.
So I went there. I went to L.A. to the meeting, and I went to all the vice presidents.
Yeah.
Because it was the rule was on there, so I lobbied as much as I could to try to get it. Then we got the vote. We were going to be a section.
Yeah.
There's just
matter of time.
Because they didn't want us.
Yeah. I feel like they wouldn't take us right now, even we're pretty good.
No, because it's a drag. They got a lot more money, a lot more people.
Correct. Yeah, so we're just gonna play like Pebble for a couple holes, and we'll talk and go about it. And I wanted to get your side, or like how you saw it, how you built it. Like a couple of my things is, I don't even know. I think I've been a member for like 14 years now. And like I've been fortunate to win some awards and stuff like that, which is cool. But I honestly had no idea. Like I knew at some point we went from the Southwest to now we're the Sun Country.
Right.
And my whole thing is like, obviously we were gonna do something because Arizona and Texas, probably neither one would ever want to take us. So it was right that we became our own.
So when I got in in 1969.
Okay.
Okay. But it was like, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have the phone calls, you had to pay for your phone calls and all that stuff. So the officers, as soon as I became a member, Herb was going to be the president. Nobody else wanted to be an officer.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much work going from time to time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he said, run for secretary treasurer. So I did. Well, obviously, nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
It was no big deal. So then we had 2 board members, I think Lee Olson and Bob Hickson.
Okay.
And then, so we were just a chapter. And I was the bad guy because in those days, the way we raised money for the chapter was when you had a pro-am, $1 out of every entry in the pro-am had to go to the chapter. That was our money.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a pro-am, it was a $100 fine. You had to have at least 100. So if you had a pro-am and you had 100 people, you got it made. So some of the people fought that all the time, and I had to, had to find them and stuff like that. So then, when the new rules came out, that there was a proposal to make these 2 new sections, and there might have been 3, I can't remember. And I knew Hawaii was in the Southern California, we were in the Southwest. So we started lobbying, getting all together, because we didn't have enough members. You had to have like 35 PGA members.
Oh.
We didn't have that many. We had less than 25, I think.
Yeah.
So we got an exemption just like Hawaii.
Okay.
So we're doing all this stuff trying to get ready to go to the annual meeting. It was in LA.
Okay.
So we had the section championship, and Trevino won it.
Oh.
So I hung with Trevino a lot when he was in El Paso. And I told him, I said, he won $2,000, and I said, you want to donate that back so that a bunch of us can go to LA so we can become a section and the assistants can vote. And he goes, oh yeah, he said, that'd be fine. He says, I'm really in for, he was held back become a PGA member for reasons, but he knew what happened when, you needed something and you had to go lobby for it.
Yeah.
So he gave us the $2,000. So I couldn't vote. I couldn't go and vote, but I could go and sit there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go lobby.
Yeah.
So I did that. So we went there, and obviously so I talked to all the national vice presidents. And the one I talked to, I remember, was from Midland, Jay McClure.
Uh-huh.
So I went into his room, and he goes, why do you want to vote? Why do you want to have privileges to vote? I'm like, I'm a PGA member just like you.
Yeah.
He said, but you're an assistant. And I said, so? He said, I have 6 assistants. He had I think he had 45 holes in Midland.
Yeah.
And he said, they could outvote me. What do you think about that? I said, well, then you didn't teach them very well.
That's a good point.
And I remember saying that. Okay, so maybe 10 or 15 years later, he became the women's golf coach at Texas Tech. So we were at a tournament, and I ran into him there. And I said, oh yeah, Jay, I remember you from way back. Yeah, he said, do you ever remember what you told me? And I said, no. He said, that was an amazing thing. I said, it was just my feeling that, I did all this work to become a PGA member.
Yeah.
And I had no status.
Yeah.
I could be an officer, but I couldn't vote. So anyway, so then we went through this procedure to become a corporation.
Okay.
So there's an attorney here named Lalo Garza.
Okay.
Avid golfer. So he did all that. He did all that for free. We became a not-for-profit corporation, Sun Country section. We borrowed the name Sun Country from. We used to have a Sun Country Open at New Mexico State.
Okay.
And it was sponsored by Farmers and Merchants Bank. They're not here anymore. So when we were trying to name the section, people liked that. So we had to call Mike Price, who was the president. So can we use that name? He said, sure. Anyway, all right, tee off.
How about the, now I know where it came from. Oh, I healed it. That's gonna require some handiwork. Well, you're up.
All right. I bet I can hit driver, huh? So I'm 200.
Well, you're 285, but we can change aim if we want.
I'm 285 to
Let's see where you go to that bunker. 168, 165 to that bunker at sea level.
Let's try this.
Here's a tee. You want one of these?
Oh. I think I'm supposed to play with Kevin.
Oh, that'll be fun.
If we can both stay well. Last year he was hurt. The year before I was hurt.
Oh, senior, junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, good team.
That's to the right.
Yeah, I think we're in the same situation here. So one of the things I was telling Trey, who was in there, was like when I was growing up, you were obviously helping a lot of us, but I was telling him the thing that always stands out was beating all of us with a hammer.
Oh,
when we
yeah.
were putting.
I got the hammer in the car.
Okay, we might have to get a picture of that. But you coming up to us and you're like, why are you struggling with putting? It's so easy. And then just bink, and you're just, and I was telling Trey, I said the touch from 10 to 30 feet with a hammer was unbelievable.
That was my hook.
Yeah.
I used to beat the girls' team, and then when Rich lived here, we used to go over to his house, and he'd bring the men's golf team, and he'd play with his little son's putter, and I would do that, beat him out there for beers. Yeah.
All right, so we got, you're at 164. I would probably hit the hybrid again.
Let me hit a little 5-iron and see what happens.
Okay.
I can't even see.
So we kind of got you going just right over that tree.
I'm gonna go under. Does that go under?
You can go under. The beautiful part is like it's on the screen. It's showing us like a side hill lie, so it will affect it, like kind of
That's
make
right.
it fade
Make
more.
it go right a little bit.
Yeah.
This is so awkward. You know,
I know.
It just takes a while, I guess, to get it done, right?
That was perfect. Chase. Good shot, though. So one of the things that I was at a teacher's event. It's kind of the top teachers of every section went to this event where, you know, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of different instructors, but Lou Guzzi was there. And he was kind of telling me, like, not necessarily how easy we have it now, you know, Trackmans, all this stuff, right? But he was like, even when you think about video, he was like, I was like one, and he claims it, and I don't know how, no way to check it, but he was like, I was one of the first people using video. And he's like, the difference though, was I'd give a lesson, I'd record the entire thing, and then I'd have to take it to get developed. And then 2 days later, I get it, and I watch it, and I see, did I make the right adjustments, basically, was kind of his whole thing. And then he would bring the person back in, and he'd go, all right, this is our practice. And he would go over all the videos, and he would be like, okay, you see on this one, we did like, you know, this move, and that's why I was telling you to go this way. So what was it like doing stuff like that?
So in the old days, it was mostly feel.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big advocate of, it's an athletic move.
Yeah.
It's just like swinging a baseball bat.
Yeah.
It's like playing tennis. It's like throwing underhand.
Yeah.
The difference is in tennis and baseball, the object's coming towards you. So you're always accelerating. You have to accelerate to make it change direction.
Yeah.
Golf, the ball's sitting there. So you have time to slow down.
Slow down.
And make mistakes. Yeah.
That's
So
a good
you-
way to look at it.
So you get into hit instead of swing.
Yeah.
And you swing in tennis, you swing in baseball.
Yeah.
And you should actually swing in golf.
Yeah.
And now they're actually doing better on TV. They're doing a better strike instead of hit, you know?
Yeah, hitting the ball. But yeah, like that to me was just impressive when they started talking to me about it. I don't think it's going to cut enough, but well, that'll be tough.
You stayed out of the house.
I stayed out of the house. God, I drew it. All right, 59 yards. You got to kind of play it like 70 because of the rough.
Ugh. Just nothing to hit at.
There you go. Should be good. Boom. Easy par.
Easy par.
That obviously is a way easy par. So let's see, 24. So one of the nice things about like these systems is I've actually been, one, controlled environment. So right, like if I were playing, I could work on it. Two, like a lot of the times after we hit, it kind of gives us the data points of like, were you inside out, outside in. So you can also put players in situations like trees on the right.
Yep.
See if they change their swing. Obviously inside, so like you're still looking at a screen. You don't quite get the feeling, but it is odd to, like, not odd, but it's good to see like when I get a player and I just even put barely any trees on the right,
Yep.
the club path goes left. And I go, okay, so see up there, you swung it 4 degrees outside in, you know, type of thing, just because the trees were over there. And then we could kind of move away from it and kind of start using some other stuff. All right.
Good.
Oh, we both had 4 feet 2 inches. Even better, easy par.
Yours is good, mine's good.
Yeah. That, but they actually have tournaments online now.
Yeah, I was seeing that on. I still get all that, you know, emails and stuff. Do this, do that.
So this last year, the first year it came out, I was just like, you know, I had played Trackman golf, and I was like, you know, it's another one of those, you know, another one of those things. Like, there's money in it and stuff like that. But this last year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And then I was like, it's in the wintertime, we're not really playing golf anyways. I'm gonna see how well I could do. I ended up getting in the top 100.
Good.
Like, it was over thousands of people, which was fun because I was out here kind of changing my swing a little bit, and I was getting like some decent feedback with it. Oh no.
Got
Yeah, losing them right today.
a little lateral there
Yeah,
early in the morning.
Yeah, I've been trying so hard to get away from the slide.
You just need to leave your right shoulder back a bit.
You're telling me exactly what I'm thinking and still can't do it.
Ooh, 243, I knock it on the green. Not
Yep.
wrong. Okay.
Turn.
Thought I was going to turn it over.
Just a little bit. Well, you outdrove me by like 100, so. But yeah, like one of the things, I guess, since we're talking the golf swing is, you know, my big thing that I tell most amateurs, I don't know if you agree or disagree, but generally when I get, let's call it a purely beginner golfer, I don't see like any arm kind of swing. It seems like they, especially now, it seems like everything they're trying to do is just absolutely
Drive, yep.
drive like
I was
this.
telling Steele, most of the time when I get people going, I just make them hit with their feet together. That
Yeah.
way they can't drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was something,
Because the more you get the outside of the circle to move,
yeah,
like the people that go, well, I got a big arc. And I'm like, okay, so you get a rope and you have this big arc like
Yeah.
this. Okay, do you have any speed? No. If you have this little string and you're going like that, now you
Yeah.
have some speed. That's,
is so funny that, I mean, maybe I got it from you, but I always tell people kind of like something similar. I was like, well, you're sitting here and you're trying to move these as fast as you can. If I'm trying to create speed, hit the ball
with the
far,
outside, yeah.
I'm going like this. You know, I don't want to go this way and try and get it all at the bottom. But the changes that I've been trying to make have been, over the past 2 years, I've just been getting more and more here, and I've been trying so hard
okay.
to keep that shoulder back.
Just
and
stay on your
hit it.
right heel 1 second longer.
1 second, I'm gonna try my
Like
hardest.
when I was on the tour, that's all they were trying to be flat-footed at impact. I mean, not this,
Yeah.
but they were like this,
Yeah.
and not, because once this moves, then
Yeah.
the shoulder moves out.
Yeah, I'm toast. As soon as that happens, I'm toast.
If you hold back too long, you hook it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know that side of the world too, but let's see if I got it.
That should be better. Yep. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, if I was, if I was in the U.S. Open, I'm not hitting that maybe 100 yards. But if I was even in the Pebble Beach and I did that, I would walk and shake everybody's hand like I knew what I was doing.
204?
204.
Perfect. Do I get to use a tee?
Today you could do whatever you want.
No, I'm just kidding. What is this? I can ground my club, nobody knows.
That's right.
All right, let's see if we can hit a little. We need a cut here too, huh?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna reach, but let's give it a go.
Lip was just a little too tall.
Oh,
but
I
that's
didn't think
all right.
about that.
Yeah, that's the hardest part with virtual. But if I know you at 150 yards, yep, you're pretty deadly.
We'll see what happens.
So pretty flat slope. It might be promoting a fade just a hair.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Get the bunker. Nope.
Pretty good though. So how would you say, or I guess what would be your number one thing that you would tell a young teacher right now getting into teaching?
About golf?
Golf, life, you know,
You gotta have fun. It's gotta be fun. And so I tell a lot of those kids at the university.
Uh-huh.
So when I was hanging out with Lee a lot, so we're at his house. We're drinking. He's got the British Open trophy,
Uh-huh.
the U.S. Open trophy,
Yeah.
the PGA trophy, and the Canadian Open. We're drinking out of all of them.
Okay.
Okay. So I go over there and I ask him. I said, Lee, how many good shots around do you hit?
Okay, let me take a guess. 2.
4.
4.
Okay. So when I was on the tour, I used to ask Vijay Singh,
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson, all those guys. 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's it. All the rest are good misses.
Yeah. I mean, can't
So
go wrong.
we
with
were
that.
at we were at Phoenix. We're sitting there. Cricket was there. Cricket and Rich and myself, Mickelson, Vijay, David Toms. So they're giving Mickelson a hard time because on TV the day before, he's got this little shot over a bunker and it was what's his name, Johnny Miller.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's short-sighted.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say what he said. Anyway, Mickelson goes, all right, you guys, how many of those shots do you hit in practice? Thousands and thousands. You don't think you're short-sighted.
No.
No. You just get up there and do it.
Yeah.
The more you make the pressure, you don't. But people don't realize they don't hit that many good. They hit bad shots. They hit shanks and stuff, but they don't show them on TV.
No.
They gotta show that.
No, it damages the product. Even
Yeah.
though I think it makes the product stronger, because if you're more relatable to the average golfer. If I hosel one over there.
Yeah. Well, they did. One time they did Tiger. He was on the he was the only one on the golf course.
Yeah.
And he's got this 8-iron or something in there. Man, it was just
Yeah.
shank.
Yeah. And then it's so funny, we can't say the word, right? Everybody's like, oh, you can't say shank, and I'm like, shank. It's like, who cares? I'm still gonna hit the next one. I'm still gonna hit the next one. I was like, I always tell people, I signed up to play 18 holes. I'm finishing, right? Like right when I start, I'm finishing. All right, 31 yards out of the rough. It'll get it.
Whoa.
little juicy on that one.
Oh, I gotta come back. Win. Well, it's hard in your mind to no feel.
All right. Yeah, we played the win, and I think it was like 425 or 525,
Yeah.
something like that. And they charged me 100, and I was like, phew. I was laughing because I was sitting there going, well, you could play Red Hawk for 65, or you could play the win for 100. Might be traveling up here every weekend. So this was the one I wanted your biggest feedback on. So I just create like a little formula, a little bit in my head. Greens are about like 10. Okay. So we have 22 feet, 9 inches down. So in my head, I always just subtract it or add it if it's uphill. This one says 9 inches down with the arrow. So I'm gonna hit like a 13-foot putt. We have it on aimed because I feel like it's hard to get the slopes and everything. But when I was playing in the tournaments, it was kind of fun because then technically you have the perfect read on every single putt. I don't know how often I get to say that I read a putt perfectly, right? But I'm gonna try and hit a 13-footer. A little short of it, but I have been, with the putter, I've been having, I would say, pretty tough stuff. I feel like I'm overthinking it. But I guess.
So if I was helping you, I would say, so your mind, in my opinion, your mind does not know hard or soft.
Yeah, for sure.
So you change the target. You got the right deal.
Yeah.
So you just pick. It's hard to pick a target here. You could pick one of those little dots.
Yeah.
But you got no feel here.
Yeah.
It's just like that. My last chip shot, I'm like, I got no feel.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got 20 feet up 4.
Oh, I have to putt.
Well, I mean, we got to get the putting stroke on camera.
Oh, you won't like that. Don't even bring a putter. Oh. So this is how I putt. And I have been for a long time. The reason I do that is because I get the left side. You know, most people get this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the left side out of the way, the palm of your right hand's parallel over the face.
Yeah.
And I try to get Rich to do it. He goes, nobody does split. Now they all do split.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. All
Yeah,
right.
you should have copyrighted that.
This is a right breaker?
Yeah, you just got to aim straight, but yeah. So you're trying to go 24 feet right at that ball on the screen.
I got no feel. I'm just going to putt it right to that little deal.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it when you hit it because it seems like.
So when I was at Scotty Cameron's, that's what we were talking about. Because he put me on the, he's got this huge warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got he's got cameras. He's got here. And he's got everybody, Tiger, all of them he has on tape. So I was telling, because I had Rich was crazy. He thought it was the club.
Uh-huh.
He had a putter that had to weigh 40 pounds.
Yeah.
You know. So what I try to get people to do, this doesn't have a mark on it.
This one's a little bit better.
Yeah. What I get people to do, especially on less than, 10, 12, 13 feet,
Uh-huh.
and now they're starting to do it because they're doing with the line. But I try to get them to get the bottom of the putter to hit right there.
Oh, okay.
So you catch it on the upswing.
Yeah.
Okay, because most good putters, when you first putt, the ball goes this way.
Yeah.
Has backspin.
Yeah.
Okay. If you catch it on the downswing, you put more backspin. So it goes backspin, and then it jumps to go forward spin. And this way it goes. This way it goes. Will that take?
Yeah, it'll take, but here.
Okay, that's all right.
We'll move you
Move over here.
Yeah. So just like that.
So you catch it this way, and you could when you put your line, you can see how the line goes this way. And then what happens is, with a little more overspin, you're going to get an extra. Like you think, oh, I'm short, and then it keeps going, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those drive it in the hole, so I just try to keep it on the upswing.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, hopefully I can hit the green and have a chance at it, because I'm gonna try one. But I feel like it's probably the same. I'll do just about anything to get somebody to hit it better, or roll it better, or chip it better.
Well, when we go out, you've got cups out there. We can go out there too.
Yeah.
Because if you watch, the putter fits in the hole.
Okay.
Stay on that right heel a little bit. You might hook a little draw.
Yeah, that one was much better. Keep coming. All right. Well, so much better. I feel like it does help me.
Then you can get what they call the slot.
Yeah.
So when you stay here, see, now you get in here.
Yeah.
When you start doing this, now you're in here.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much, especially as much club head speed you get.
Yeah.
To keep that face open.
Yeah.
Just a centimeter or two.
Yeah, because one of my biggest things is, obviously, I'm gonna go here, and then I've played enough to where I'm starting
That's right.
to go this way.
You catch up.
Yeah, and I've really been trying to get, this motion and feeling like I'm right in there, so that I allow myself to kind of move how I'm supposed to. But I feel like from playing so long, it's almost those create more bad habits, right? Like I get in front of it.
Well, part of the problem is you know too much.
Definitely know way too much. I'm over here trying to release everything and get all my...
Way too much. You get paralysis by analysis.
So...
Oh, I hit a driver again. All right, let's see if I can make one solid swing without...
Okay.
All righty. Let's concentrate on this one.
There he is. There's the guy I know, right down the middle. Little baby draw.
I'm a little more loose.
Now because we'll finish this one and we'll wrap it up and we'll kind of go putt and talk about it. But as far as the Sun Country, how do you think we're doing?
Oh, great.
We're better?
I went to that last meeting. I was supposed to give a speech on the history.
Uh-huh.
We were supposed to have an hour. We had like 10 minutes because all the salesmen. It kind of upset me. Yeah. But so look at all the money you guys got now. We only had, if you just think about that, there's say 25 golf courses when we started, and you get $100 out of each one.
25.
That's not very much money to run the section on.
No.
You guys have got, 60, 70,000 in the bank.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're doing.
And the other
way
thing we
better.
got later on, well, after we incorporated, then I got tired of all the BS.
Yeah. I mean,
Herb did too, and then that's Eschenbrenner became the next deal, and he reincorporated, and they paid for it.
oh.
There we go. That's right on it, I bet. That's a good swing.
I think it's better. We're getting.
That's a good swing.
My goal is always hit it in the hole from the fairway, so I don't have to putt. But I'm looking forward to trying.
66 yards. I don't have a 60. I only have one. I'm a one wedge guy, old school. I had to get an A wedge with this set because Callaway makes them so strong.
Oh yeah.
And this goes about 80 yards. Okay. Then the pitcher wedge went like 110.
Yeah.
I got nothing in there. So I get 100 yards, I got nothing. Well, I can do the old Ivy Martin stuff where you You know, you just give it this little.
Yeah.
That. See, you remember Ivy? He had
Little
that
bit.
caddy. Remember, he had that caddy swing,
Yeah.
but he was this way.
Yeah.
The boy, if he's right here, you just have to give it to him. All right, 66 yards. Throw it at the 6.
We just pulled it just a little bit. Great distance, though. Well, you get to try that putt and show us. So yeah, my thing is, you know, I'm never super active. Here we go. I'm gonna line you up.
The right breaker.
Yeah.
Man, it's just tough on my
20
head.
footer.
It's just tough on my head. I got no feel. I'm just gonna put it a little left of the hole.
Just
Moved
pushed
on
it
it.
a little bit.
See,
That's the tough part.
yeah.
But that, we'll go out and hit some. I've never really been active. My goal has been always, since I started, has been to change the at a whole, was to change Las Cruces golf for the better. Like that's exactly how I've always seen it. So top to bottom, that means, you know, we got to be better. I think collegiately, like we're at a pretty good level.
Yeah, well, see, now you have to pay for them, so
Yeah.
it's not ever going to get better here because
Yeah.
there's no money
Correct.
unless the NCAA changes, and it's not ever going. I predict that athletics will get out of the university.
Oh, I believe it.
All
Like
of it,
they're a separate entity.
Yep, there'll be like an associate deal, like the foundation is a separate corporation,
Yeah.
and they raise money. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then it goes to the high school level. You know, from there it goes to like the middle school level and all that. But I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that we have going. Like, you know, even when you look at Henry's programs at Red Hawk, you know, we're getting hundreds of kids starting and playing and picking. Especially like when I was growing up, it was, you know, especially like you knew my grandfather, and he was like, you got to play them all. And he's like, if you want to be great, you got to play them all. And so I spent a lot of time playing all of the sports. And now you have kids like specializing, which is, I mean, up to a certain level, like you want them to try it all and then specialize.
Well, look at the guys on the tour. They're all like, they could be playing basketball and football.
Yeah.
In the old days, like Nicholas is not much taller than I am.
No.
Trevino's about the same size.
Yeah, so that's
Gary
what I mean.
Player, yeah. Now these big guys.
They got all these long levers, they can hit it further, they can do all of this stuff. And obviously the equipment changes, but like when you look at the athlete as an individual.
Correct, yeah, and they start earlier. I'm going to play golf. Now they go, I'm going to play high school golf. No, you got to play football. No.
Nope.
There's no chance.
Yeah, so especially when I was growing up, you know, like I had to ask, you know, my high school football coach for 2 weeks off to go to a golf camp.
Yep.
And he looked at me like I was crazy. What do you mean you're going to go play golf? And I was like, well, it's not like I'm going to go train. I'm going to go do all of that stuff. And it was an unbelievable opportunity for me. But he was like, all right, well, that means, you know, better be eating right, doing all that other stuff. But like now these kids don't even do that. Like and I think it's good for them because they can take that advantage and play more, practice more. I had to wait till, you know, I would go to 2-a-day workouts, go work out at 6, come back, I'm done at 8, go to the range for like an hour, hour and a half, go home, eat, and then I was back at football. And I was like, these kids can go out, hit balls, go play 18, come back, hit balls. So trying to get them to focus.
People like Pat Gavin and my son and those guys, that's all they did. Eddie Rainio,
Yeah.
that's all they used to drop him off the golf course. I mean, Pat Gavin's grandfather dropped him off there, of course, and then he and Jeff would steal golf carts and drive him around.
Yeah.
That's a whole different deal.
Okay.
But they lived on the golf course, and then they learned to be gentlemen. I mean, you're a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, and you're playing with these older guys, and you learn how to be an adult.
Yeah, gentleman's game. Calling rules on yourself, all that stuff. You know, I would like to see us get a little bit more towards that, and not just be like, okay, what did you shoot? It's like, okay, did we have fun? Did we follow all the rules? You know, Were we making sure we weren't walking in lines and stuff like that?
Well, you got to get the parents out of it.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole different thing.
The parents are like, oh, they're going to play on the tour. I'm like, he's 12 years old.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking more forward to how does he do in high school golf.
So I tell them, I said, so especially for women, because that was my best deal. I was pretty successful with the women.
Yeah.
As I tell people, you get your degree.
Yeah.
If you're not on the tour, if you go to work at some company, almost they all have outings.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So one of my players, I used to tell my players this. So one of these girls who she wasn't a good player. I mean, she maybe made 2 or 3 trips in 4 years.
Yeah.
So she called me up. She said, I got to tell you that what you said is true. And I'm like, what's that? She says, I work at this company in Phoenix. So I was on the range one day, and we're getting ready to play in this golf tournament. There's this guy up in front, older guy in front of me. And I was hitting balls, and he goes, young lady, she said, well, I played college golf. He said, well, can you help me? She said, well, yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
So he helped her. So she said, and then that was like months ago, and she said, today I was in my little cubicle, and this guy walked by, and he goes, hey, Carrie. He goes, and she goes, hi, Bob, how are you? He said, you really helped me. I really appreciate you helping me. Okay. He took off. Boy, her boss came in there, and he goes, you can't call him Bob. So I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's the top dog.
Yeah.
So guess what? The
She
next
got
tournament, she was on his scramble team.
Yeah.
Playing from way up there, 200 yards and hitting it 220, 230.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
But it makes it, and then I tell people, if somebody moves the ball in the rough and you're playing with them and it's supposed to be a business partner, or it's if they're going to cheat you on the golf course, they're going to cheat you because the person's inner self comes out.
Absolutely, on the golf course. That's your true self.
Yep.
But pleasure.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad you put up with the virtual golf. I know.
Oh no, I don't mind. I'm just old school.
I know.
I'm a field guy.
I know. But you did great. I got a lot of insight. We played pretty decent, but I really enjoy.
Let's go. You want to go putt? I'll show
I
you
want
some
to go
stuff.
putt.